This video is sponsored by Kaamos Metal Cruise 2023.
Amassing the bodies and pits as they die, sentient and filthy they rot. Flammable and singing, discarded like waste. For the fire of the handgun, you played it all wrong. And soul and valor.
Welcome to Rauta's Underground Trio. Once again, we have three different bands from three different underground sectors, and these are all different genres, so it can be pretty hard to compare to one another. Despite of that, however, as always, I'm putting these in my personal worst to best order based on how I liked these given albums. Now, before we go on, there is something I must mention, and that is none of these albums totally got me wow. More like now we are operating roughly in the mediocrity sector, a little bit better and a little bit less than that. So no total disappointments, no total good surprises. So let's get it on with it. First we'll have this band called Thod with Asklepios. Asklepios. Hard to pronounce that shit. Anyway, this is kind of a weird stuff. I was expecting some kind of I don't, to be honest, know what to expect with the name and logo like that, but some kind of a different black metal maybe. But this was a little bit different. Metal Archives lists this one as Black Doom or something like that. But let's be honest about it. There's very little doom in this one, unless you just consider everything that it is to be somewhat mid-tempo to be doom metal. This is kind of a mid-tempo to a slow-tempo black metal with a little bit doom in the mix. Yeah, given that. I guess it could be said, but there are also faster parts which just kind of totally takes away that whole doom thing. But this one is done with black metal vocals and the kind of a production that is very, very demo-like. Now, this is the first album by the band, so I guess in many ways the band is doing the basic demo things, flaws and whatnot with this given album. Now, I find this very, very mediocre, or even a little bit less than that for various reasons. First of all, the songs are just not made of good riffs. The main compositions and all that is like kind of a dragging experience, like when something interesting is about to happen, and the answer is never. Other thing here is the production is kind of a lame and powerless and more like, dudes, if you cannot afford a real studio, maybe get some proper label to back it up, and if you cannot find a label, maybe need to do better songs. On top of that, you have those raspy vocals which are not really fitting for this kind of music that much. I mean, they do their job, but nothing to be praising about. As I was looking for information for this one, it also seems like this was originally an independent release, which gives the big red flag for demo release, which was later on put out a label Wormhole Records here. So I guess this is much like a demo in the form of a full album, and I wouldn't say to recommend this to anyone. If you're however interested, go ahead and listen, but it's more on the bad than the good side, so there is that. The second one comes from Italy, and this one is Starspawn of Cthulhu, The Cursed Vision. For some reason, before listening to this one, I thought this was a Finnish one. Or maybe when I started to listen, because the vocalist kind of gave me a really, really strong Finnish vibe with the music. This is doom metal with Lovecraftian themes, which you already guessed. One of the most popular themes in all kind of underground metal, be it doom, death metal, black metal, what have you. Now, you might be guessing right, this is a Cthulhu and doom metal. The vocals are mostly clean as supposed to be in the doom metal sector without going death doom or some kind of a black doom subgenre. But there are a little bit, a little bit more than that, like parts where it kind of gets somewhat raspy, like as if it was flirting a little bit with the black metal side. Now, overall, with this album, I would say it's very, very listenable, but kind of lacking some kind of passion. I also have a hard time liking these vocals. Don't get me wrong, this is just personal taste kind of a thing. It's not like they are bad, but something is putting me off. And it's not like one of those epic heavy metal / doom metal vocalists, which can go really high and mighty and all that stuff. This is more like a karaoke version of that. Kind of a skilled, but kind of also like it needs something extra, maybe more power, maybe more that epicness, maybe more boldness. And now it's more like doom metal, the basic standard default get-go bulk stuff. And if you like it, and like Lovecraftian themes, this might be for you. But if you're looking for something really different, something more powerful than just mediocrity nicely done, well, go ahead and go for some other bands. The last, and of course not least, is the best of this pile, which is not much to say really. This one is Nitrik from Finland called Keskipiste N2. Keskipiste means like the middle point. I really don't know why the band decided to go pick such a silly name for a title. I mean, it doesn't really say much, and this CDR copy seems like it's very, very much like DIY kind of a thing. Do it yourself. And everything here seems like a homemade. Whether it's about these covers or CDR, I mean, look at these covers. This is much like printed with a home printer and then just cut with a little bit of a sloppiness here and there. But I guess this is for punkhead peoples who are like, yeah, DIY mentality and all that stuff. For Thrash on the second album by the band, and these young guys seem passionate and all, which is kind of a good thing when you're doing thrash metal. You know, you really have to have the kind of attitude rather than some boomer old man mentality when you're doing the lots of energetic riffs and songs that are supposed to tell you something, give a message or whatnot. However, where this band just steps on a piece of Thod is we're having some of those weird part riffs which are like, why on earth? For example, the track number 3, the title track, actually has one of those riffs which are like, what the hell is going on? What is this mental breakdown having there? It's like just a weird, I don't know, kind of a progressive, jazzy, whatever, leftover riff, which is in the middle of the song to just interrupt the good flow, the groove, the momentum the band had going on. Now, for the most part, however, this album exactly has kind of a nice trashy groove, but nothing really sticks. I mean, it's like avoiding being a catchy album and all, and as a result, it kind of is a little bit of a letdown. Resulting, very mediocrity, given that the production is quite basic, kind of a rehearsal room-like, and there's not enough punch or moments where you're really nailing it. So I'm saying this one is a little bit of a disappointment given it's a second album and you should figure out, okay, now we're beyond the demo phase, now we're really nailing it. But the result is more like, okay, pretty basic standard crossover thrash with some bad ideas here and there. So I'm looking for these guys to really get proper production, you know, solid sound for the whole thrash metal thing, and without those third pieces in the middle of the whole thing. Despite of those tiny little amounts of excrement here and there, I would say this is the best of the pile. But like I said, hard to compare because they're all different. One, you know, black metallic thing, one doom metallic things, and thrash metallic things. Hard to compare. So go with the one that you feel you're most comfortable in your own comfort zone with your own selection of genres and all that stuff. You will find links provided in the description box. So listen to some of these if you feel like they might be your cup of tea, and if not, well, now you know, you've been warned. Thanks for checking out the video. See you later. Bye bye.